Okay, hi, it's Tom from bkmnutrition.com, and thanks for tuning into this live broadcast. So today's purpose of this live is to maybe stop you making a common mistake that many people will make when they go back to the gym on December the 2nd. Now, if you can avoid this mistake, you will be able to build more muscle when you go back to the gym in about a week's time. And just by tweaking a few things in your training plans, you should be able to come out, build more muscle, lose a bit more body fat, and look better by the end of December, rather than just getting back to where you were at the start of November when gyms shut. So what is the mistake that most people will make? It seems quite obvious when you say it. They're going to go back to what they were doing before they went into lockdown. They want to pick up where they left off. And this is what most people will do. Because it's only been a short break, 4 weeks or so, most people have treated it as, oh, it's just a stop break in my training, and they would have had some time off, and they would have come back in, right, I'm back into the gym now, and I'm just going to do the same thing, the same workouts as I did before. They might have gained, or you might have gained, I should say, a little bit of body fat in the time off because you haven't been able to train as much. You might have lost a little bit of muscle. You probably haven't lost muscle. What's probably happened is your glycogen stores in your muscle have depleted because you're not training as much, and the body doesn't store as much glycogen in your muscles, which gives you the full effect when you're not training as much. So that will rectify quite quickly. It's very unlikely that you've actually dropped muscle in 4 weeks, unless you've just been sat in a coma in your bed for 4 weeks, which, okay, some people might have done that, but most people haven't. They've been active during that time. So the major goal for people coming back after the lockdown is, in my opinion, is not to get back to where you were. It's to take advantage of that layoff and push further and get yourself bigger, more muscular, more leaner from this layoff. Now, how do you do that? So when you think about this, you've got to think about the application of this technique. Now, when I was bodybuilding and I was doing competitions, I would do 16, 20-week diets. They were quite intensive, obviously very intensive because I had to get to low body fat levels, very restrictive. There was a lot of stress, a lot of strain. I trained 5 to 6 days a week, cardio every day. And so there's a lot of strain on my body. And when I came to the show, which is sort of the pinnacle of the diet, I suppose, I did the show, and then I came off the show. Now, what I did when I did my first couple of shows, I would go straight back into the gym, because there was this old school thing of, oh, you make the best gains after a show. It really, it's just that you've been dieting for a long period of time. So once you come off the diet, you just fill back out again. But people were saying, oh no, it's because the training you make your best gains. That's not true. The body is under stress, it's under strain, and it needs to recover. So I learned, to my detriment, that if I went back into the gym straight after training, straight after the show, I actually got very ill. I actually picked up shingles in my first year of competing, because I pushed myself so low that my immune system dropped so low that I picked up shingles, which was, for a 22-year-old person, that's almost unheard of, a normally healthy person. So I did learn from my mistake. Coincidentally, I also gained about 3 stone after that, because I just restricted myself so much on my first diet. But that quickly dropped off again afterwards. So what I learned, educated myself, and learned that actually what competitive and professional athletes do when they've had this period of maximizing their training, they have about 3 to 4 weeks off. And that time is called a down training period, or a downtime. And what you do is you basically rest and recover. You eat some nice food, you relax, you get some massages, some hot baths. You basically treat your body really nicely. Not to say that you don't exercise, you do a little bit of exercise just to keep yourself active, because it's good to be active. But what we're talking about here is when you're training to a high level, there's a difference between training at that level and then training just to keep yourself active. So there is a difference there. And so what would happen is, over those 4 weeks, your body would recover, and it would and recuperate, and all your tendon injuries would go, all your joint injuries would go. And essentially, those 4 weeks would be used to sort of give yourself this sort of rejuvenation exercise, so that when you come back to training, you are fully fueled and ready to go. And also your mental motivation is really high, because you haven't pushed yourself, you haven't challenged yourself for those 4 weeks. So sensibly, after I did these few times of actually getting really ill, I had the layoff, done the rest, recuperation, I come back, And then I did make the best gains of my life after each show because I'd fully rested, fully recovered. And when I went back into training, I was able to push myself for 4 to 6 weeks over what I was doing before I was training. Now, obviously I was dieting before, so it's not a fair comparison, but I would get more out of those 4 to 6 weeks following that 4-week layoff than I did, say, in my normal off season. Now, that doesn't last forever, of course, because very quickly you're going to get tired if you overreach. It's called overreaching training when you do more than what you can normally cope with. So I did that for 4 to 6 weeks, but importantly, I gave my body a good boost, a good kick to grow. And when I did that, I actually found I gained more muscle in those 4 to 6 weeks because by the time I've had those 4 weeks off, my body fat had settled again. I was back to sort of where I was off season before. So I could see the difference coming on. Now, back in those days, there wasn't any advanced body fat measuring systems or 10-out scales or any of that sort of stuff. So I had to go on how I look. So I had to look at my body shape, take pictures and everything else and look at it. Now, I know I got bigger in that time because every year I progressed after doing that method. And it also allowed me to prevent injuries and to get, although I did pick up some injuries in my career, I didn't get any sort of like life-threatening injuries or anything like that from really pushing myself to such an extreme. So I was able to progress every single year by doing this layoff and then overreaching schedule. So this is what we can apply to your training. Now, okay, and I'm not meaning to sort of put anyone down here, but most people watching this will not have just come off a layoff after competing at a high level for an athletic event. However, you will have been training regularly. If you enjoy the gym, you would have been going 3 to 4 times a week. So you would have been training regularly, and now you've had a downtime. You might have been able to train in a garage gym or your mate's garage gym. You might have been able to do some weights at home, whatever, but it will not be the same as what you would have been doing in the gym. You haven't had the range of equipment that you would have in the gym. You wouldn't have all the variation that you would have in a garage or at home. So essentially you have had a layoff, and now we can take advantage of that layoff and push afterwards and do a 4 to 6 weeks intense smashing type workout schedule. Now, what I mean by this is that if you were to get a workout schedule which would push you outside your comfort zone on every single workout 4 to 5 times a week, it would be completely new to what you were doing before. It'd be not what the training system you were doing before, and you would be coming back into it fresh and ready to go. The other thing is December is normally quite a quiet time for gyms, so you can probably take advantage of doing things like supersets and quad sets and triple sets and all those other things, and really build a workout that is going to almost destroy the muscles to get them to respond and to grow again. And because they've had that 4-week layoff, you're actually going to take advantage of this. It's ready to go. It's ready and primed for that type of environment. So that is what I would suggest that you do, is look to get a training program which is built for boosting muscle pro. Now, it's not going to be something you can do long term, as in every single week for the rest of the year, because you want something that's going to be so taxing that each workout you're coming out going, whoa, that was a tough workout. Now, I know everyone says, oh, that's every workout. Believe me, that's not, because even pro bodybuilders training at the pro bodybuilder level understand when it's time to really smash a body part and when it's time to maintain and grow and have a sort of maintenance period. And so most pro bodybuilding athletes, or at least the ones I've talked to over time, will have periods where they really overreach and then they go back to maintenance, and then they go maintenance period, overreach, maintenance. And this is how you grow and progress over time. You can't be smashing it 100% all of the time. You need to, even when you're off season, the gyms aren't closed, whatever, you have to have times where you're backing off a little bit so the body is recovering. Doesn't mean you train less, it just means you train smarter. So that is my advice to you. If you want to take advantage of this coming out of lockdown period, so December the 2nd is when the gym's open, take advantage of that. You've got about 3 weeks before Christmas comes up. Now, my gym's open over Christmas every day, so it doesn't actually matter if you're a ministry member. It doesn't matter if you want to train Christmas Day, you can come train Christmas Day. But most people, their gyms might be shut over Christmas. So you've got about 3 weeks leading up to Christmas, maybe a couple of days layoff, and then you've got another week after that. So you've got 4 to 5 weeks where you can really push your training hard and really, really get into growing some muscle. That would be my advice to you. And if you want to do that, I do actually have a program built for that, which I'm launching this week. Of course, this is potentially a sales video, but it's also some advice video. You don't have to buy my course. You don't have to buy my program. Go and get a program that suits your needs. I built it for bodybuilders, for people who want to build their body. I always talk about people growing muscle and making more gains in the gym. That's everybody who builds muscle, not just competitive bodybuilders. So I have a program built for that. If you want to take advantage of that and jump on board, you can. I'm giving it to all my one-to-one clients. And if you want to join that, you can, but you don't have to. This is my advice. I'm trying to give some value to you. If you want to build your own workout plan, you can find them on YouTube. You can sort of download them off other videos and stuff like that. If you want to, I've got a purpose-built one that you can jump on. So that's my advice to you. Don't go back into the gym doing the same thing. Go back into gym thinking, I'm going to smash these next 3 weeks, but do it sensibly. People who think I'm going to smash these 3 weeks generally go in and train for 2 to 3 hours at a time. That's not the same as a focused sort of 45 to 90-minute workout where you're really getting the exercises lined up properly. So that you're doing drop sets, supersets, you're training for strength, for volume, for overload. You really need to build that system properly. So don't just go in going, I'm going to do 20 sets of everything. That's not the way to do it. You need to have a sensible approach to it. Thank you for watching. If you want to have a look at my course, it's bknutrition/smasher. Of course, if you want to go and have a look at your own stuff on YouTube, do that as well. My course is there if you want it. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, comments, please below, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.